I want to hear you tell your story.
It's hard for me to talk about.
It seems like Shane Dawson's channel has been a staple on YouTube since the beginning of YouTube itself. Even if you weren't a fan of him in the past, it was almost impossible to miss his video parodies and skits as they hit millions of views even in the early days of YouTube. And Shane was definitely one of the first people to become a legit celebrity solely from his YouTube fame. But the days of his over-the-top parodies and sketches have come and gone. If you've been a long-time subscriber and fan of Shane's, you've seen his videos undergo a massive transformation over the past few years. He's gone from funny comedic videos to dissecting some of the scariest conspiracy theories to more serious in-depth interviews where he gives his friends, fellow YouTubers, and controversial figures a platform to show his viewers who they really are. And the best part about it is that we've really gotten to see Shane grow and evolve too, as his channel has. When it comes down to it, the continued success of his channel is because of how dedicated he is to each project he works on. He puts his heart and soul into everything, and it's sort of become, for a lack of a better analogy, the Oprah of YouTube. Fans wait on his page anxiously refreshing over and over again to see what he's created, and in my opinion, there's nothing else like it on YouTube. So we decided to round up the reasons why we think Shane deserves to own the title the Oprah of YouTube right here on Listed. First up was one of his most iconic and personal Oprah moments when Shane had to confront Tana Mongeau about her infamous failed TanaCon, which Shane was actually involved in. He had to try to put his own feelings aside to get to the bottom of what happened with TanaCon and give Tana a platform to apologize. A little backstory is important for this one though, since Shane was actually supposed to be a part of TanaCon. He was one of the many people who were screwed over during the mess.
Am I coming across like too angry or something? I mean, I am.
I mean, as long as you are.
It kind of justifies it, right?
And if for some reason you forgot what TanaCon was, or if you're new to loving YouTube, Tana tried to create her own version of VidCon after she wasn't chosen as a featured creator in 2018. She claims that she was promised by VidCon that she would be, but it never actually panned out. But her event was so unorganized and dysfunctional that it was shut down following safety concerns and riot hazards. The event was like the YouTube version of Fyre Festival, a mass of overheated, hungry, and lost people waiting for Tana. So naturally, Shane decided to dive deep to get to the bottom of what happened. He said, quote, "Not only was TanaCon a failure, but it was a safety hazard. It caused riots, it caused so many thousands of people to get sunburned, like third-degree burns on their bodies. People were passing out, nobody was even getting into the convention center. It wasn't even a convention center, it was a hotel lobby the size of a Chipotle." And he wasn't afraid to be real with Tana when he sat down with her.
But I also, like, I'm gonna have to play strong dad, okay? Like, I have to be honest with you and tell you what's up and how real this was, you know?
It's so real shit.
I mean, we all know that when Oprah conducts interviews, she isn't afraid to give a little tough love too, hence proving my point about Shane. And Tana was grateful that Shane even gave her the opportunity to talk about what happened. She tried to thank Shane through her many, many tears, and when I say tears, I mean full-blown buckets of tears.
The fact that you're even here talking to me, the fact that you still want to talk to me and you care. Thank you.
And though Tana was willing to take the blame for the event's failure, Shane called her out for where he still thought she was wrong. While she was saying she didn't want to let anyone down or hurt anyone and that her intentions were actually good, Shane made it clear he didn't agree with that.
I don't think you had good intentions, and I don't think you know that. Because the true intention of it was revenge.
I mean, he's not wrong. TanaCon was revenge on VidCon. Shane made it clear in this video that he was incredible at deep dive interview series, and another controversial YouTuber Shane sat down with for an in-depth chat was none other than Tana's husband, Jake Paul. Obviously, this was before they were clout-chasing hubby and wife, but jury's still out on whether these two are still married or if they were even ever married. But anyway, long before the days of Jana, Jake had many public controversies of his own. I'm not gonna list them all, but Jake has been controversial for discriminatory comments, being a public nuisance, using racial slurs, and many other things. And Shane didn't just interview Jake, he created an 8-part docu-series which was primarily an exploration of Jake Paul's potential sociopathy. And in his docu-series, because he's so good at deep dives, Shane raises questions other than just what's on the surface. He asks things like, is there a fundamental problem with the type of person that YouTube attracts in the first place? Which brings me to what was going on with Jake. Shane tries to get to the bottom of why Jake is the way he is.
Did that experience be like, oh, there is this line?
100%. Like those words wouldn't even like come out of my mouth.
And in typical Oprah fashion, Shane asks Jake about his childhood and considers whether that has impacted the way he acts.
Growing up, my parents, or mainly my dad, like there was no line with jokes or anything. And I definitely learned from that situation, like not everyone's gonna joke around the same way.
But Shane does a great job at making even the most controversial people like Jake seem human and likable. I mean, Jake still has his haters, and sometimes it's rightfully so, but Shane let him tell his side of the controversy. There's just something about Shane that seems welcoming and easy to talk to.
You're allowed to feel like that was probably one of the most up things ever.
And speaking of controversial figures, Shane has been there for his friend Trisha Paytas.
I get my glam in the morning. This is like the first thing. It takes about like 3 hours, but
I mean, so much so that he even named an eyeshadow after her in his new palette. But Trisha has been very outspoken about how much Shane has been there for her during tough times. And we know Trisha is one of the most controversial figures on YouTube, especially in recent months, but Shane has continued to stand by his friend. She even made a video called Dear Shane for him on his birthday.
Shane is someone who I always use the term like best friend, like family, but like he's so much deeper than that.
And being the true friend that he is, Shane has been there for Trisha and his other friends, even when they maybe don't deserve it.
He's the one person who's like always had my back, like even if I'm not necessarily deserving.
Which, whether you like or agree with Trisha or not, it's clear Shane is a loyal friend and is always there to talk. And speaking of being there for his friends, Shane has really been there for one of his nearest and dearest friends, Jeffree Star. It's no secret Jeffree has been a controversial figure on YouTube with many scandals in his day, but none of that stopped him from running a beauty empire and being one of the biggest and richest YouTubers in the industry. But that's not really what Shane focused on in his first 5-part docuseries about Jeffree, which he called The Secret World of Jeffree Star. And we know he has a whole new series with Jeffree now where they make their makeup together called The Beautiful World of Jeffree Star. But in his first series, Shane gets more personal with Jeffree about his past. Shane talks about the Jeffree he sees off camera compared to the Jeffree that people see online.
And maybe people don't see that. I see it because I've never seen videos of you crying or like having a really, dark moment, and because you don't really share that. But like that's there.
Oh, of course.
Like I've seen it when we're off camera.
There.
I've seen that for sure.
And Jeffree revealed that there's a reason why he is the way he is.
Like, I'm a damaged person, 100%. You never not admit that.
He went on to say, quote, "I'm just one person with a crazy up past, and I'm just trying to be a better me and just start the next chapter of my life." Which Shane has definitely helped Jeffree do. He gave him the platform to show who he really is, but it didn't stop with just that conversation. Shane went above and beyond to give Jeffree closure with his past.
But I wanted to see what it was like to be you before all the success.
Oh, wow, okay.
So I actually reached out to your old landlord, and I got his access
I just got the chills, okay?
to your original apartment.
Like I said, Shane does not take these series lightly. He does whatever he can to really show us who someone is, not just like what they seem like on YouTube. They got in his car and legit went to Jeffree's old apartment and talked about what his life was like before all the glitz, glam, and pinball machines. Because it's not a deep dive with Shane unless they go that far.
This is so crazy that I'm here right now. Whoa.
This is weird for me, and I didn't even come here when you lived here.
God.
And this series really did change Jeffree's life. Shane allowed people to see a side of Jeffree that they didn't know was in there, and I, for one, was really here for it. YouTube has been all about cancel culture as of recently, but Shane's channel is basically the opposite of that. He will take someone who's been quote-unquote canceled and let them share their side. But Shane doesn't just upload videos to his channel like he used to. He used to post multiple times a week, but now he only uploads a few times a year. It seems like his channel is almost exclusively for these type of serious interview series, and fans have really gotten on board and want more. One person tweeted saying, quote, "Shane Dawson in the future when creating a documentary like The Beautiful World of Jeffree Star, would you consider cast interviews like reality TV shows? I feel like it would bring a lot more energy to the documentary, or maybe I'm just a loser for reality TV." Hey, I'd be here for it, but there was a stretch earlier this year when Shane didn't upload much at all. He was working on all his series and perfecting them, but after taking some time off YouTube to produce his new content, he made an epic return on his birthday by dropping a one-off documentary-style interview with Eugenia Cooney. So he titled the video The Return of Eugenia Cooney, and if you don't remember who Eugenia is, she's a YouTuber who, as Shane explains, is known for her videos, Instagram page, and for being distressingly thin. She took some time off to get the help she needed for an eating disorder, and Shane, being the great interviewer he is, wanted to give her the platform to tell her story.
I want to hear you tell your story.
He made the interview very much about Eugenia while also inserting his own experiences.
Like, eating disorders are so hard because you have to eat to live, right? So it's like my issues with food I struggle with daily because I have to eat. So it's almost like a constant, it's like being an alcoholic and having to drink every day. It's like a weird like thing.
And Shane wasn't afraid to ask Eugenia the hard-hitting questions that everyone else was afraid to ask.
Like how did you survive? Like, cause
honestly, yeah.
But at the end of the day, Shane just wanted to give her a place to tell her story and hopefully help other people.
Then I think that'll be really cool if like maybe some people that are going through a hard time or an eating disorder or like anything know they can like get through that, and that there is like help for them, and that people do care about them a lot.
Which honestly, many of Shane's videos seem to help people. It's not just about the person he's interviewing. So many of his fans can relate to what his interviewee has gone through. Fans took to Twitter after the Eugenia video went live to thank both of them for being so vulnerable. One person said, quote, "I'm honestly crying. Like, I have so much respect for Shane for researching and being able to be helpful and respectful to Eugenia. Eugenia, you are so brave and I am so proud of you. I love you." And another said, "I'm not even 7 minutes into Shane Dawson's biopic on Eugenia, but I'm already tearing up. These are the kind of helpful, impactful, raw, and real stories that should be told more and promoted on YouTube. It's not a perfect platform, but content like this makes the world better." And we completely agree, but what's become so interesting though is that now even famous YouTubers see Shane as the Oprah of YouTube. They go to him to be able to tell their story and share what they're going through. One example of this is when the Dolan Twins went to Shane to break the news to fans that they are no longer going to be uploading weekly. About a month ago, Ethan and Grayson Dolan sat down with Shane to talk it all out and figure out how to move forward on YouTube while also prioritizing themselves and their physical and mental health. They started off by sitting down with Shane and explaining the reason behind the video because, like I said, they asked Shane to do the video, not vice versa.
We have to stop posting weekly.
Ethan even said, quote, "If I was going through something hard in my life, I would think, how am I going to fake my mood? How am I going to be happy in the next 2 days because I have to film a happy video to get it up on Tuesday? Not being able to recover from certain things I'm going through because I'm posting has made me want to quit so many times." And Shane was there to give some advice to the boys based on his own experience with his changing YouTube channel.
I think you should 100% not feel like you have to post every week. I think you could post once a month and people would be happy. I think you could take more time.
Which is great advice for anyone who is working themselves to the core. It's always best to take some time for yourself. Look at me getting advice from Shane right here as we're doing this. But the Dolan Twins went on to explain how filming every week really impacted them while they were caring for their dad who was sick with cancer and eventually passed away.
So had we not been filming a video every week, like we would have been able to spend like more time with their family around the time that they needed us.
Ethan and Grayson also opened up to Shane about how their own health was affected during this time.
I was sick for like literally 6 months. I was on like literally 3 months of antibiotics and it still didn't help. And I couldn't walk for, I want to say like 3 weeks.
So it's safe to say that they were putting their YouTube channel before themselves, and Shane was there for them while they explained the news to their fans. And while Shane has been there for all of these other YouTubers, he's also been more there for himself as his channel has shifted. Like he told the Dolan Twins to do, he puts out content that he cares about when he wants to, not just because he feels like he has to. And we wouldn't change a thing. I mean, I think Oprah would definitely give him the stamp of approval. But do you think Shane Dawson is the Oprah of YouTube? Why or why not? And which of his in-depth interviews is your favorite? Let me know down in the comment section below. And while you're there, hit that subscribe button and give this video a big old thumbs up. Then you can click right over here for even more entertainment news. I'm Emilius Jr. here with Clevver News, and I will catch you next time. Bye, guys.